Yo, what's going on, man? Today is March the 12th, 2024. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. I'm live on Twitter, also live on YouTube as well. Now, do me a favor, as I always ask, hit the like button for me if you can, especially if you know you're going to enjoy the show and you think it's going to be helpful for your betting information and putting your bets in today. We got a big card, but it's not really a lot of spots that I'm liking today, man, to be honest with you guys. Nice little run. I think 4-0 on our last four bets. Yesterday, we just had one bet yesterday, which was the Phoenix Suns minus the 2.5 at open, and we were able to cash that. Looking to kind of replicate that, continuing to move in the right direction. So, link for all my official plays are in the description if anybody's interested. Promo to the Odds Jam is also there if you guys are interested in signing up for Odds Jam and what they have to offer. If you guys are checking me out on Twitter, be sure to check me out on YouTube and vice versa. And we're just going to jump right into it for today, man. Like I said, a lot of games on the board. I got a couple plays that I got written down that I want to make, but I haven't gotten to quite yet. So we're going to get to it. First game up. And where's the money? We're definitely trying to find it. Like I said, we did go 1-0 yesterday, up almost 37 units on the season. First game up, my 76er graphic. I feel like every team I want to fade, the graphic always disappears. So it should be a 76er graphic over here on the left. And they will be in the Garden tonight again, taking on the New York Knickerbockers. Knicks trying to get some revenge tonight, and they probably do, man. They probably do. When I was looking at this morning, I know I did a morning show for people who didn't get a chance to tap in. This line was actually 4.5 when it came out last night, and this line was at 4.5. Hold on, did we get some injury news? OG Anunoby will play. Yeah, if you want the Knicks, you probably want to get in on them, man. OG Anunoby being back is definitely going to help that defense out, I think, a lot. So as we get breaking news about this game, OG Anunoby was listed as questionable. He is going to play today with that elbow injury that he sustained. And these sixes that were available are probably going to go back to 6.5, even though you do see 6.5s on the board. It's back up to 6.5 already. Total steadily coming down from 212 down to 208. I see 207.5 as well. Probably some money coming in on the Knicks, on Philly team total under. I think it would be the way in this spot. But this game was difficult, man. I kind of contemplated, went back and forth. So on the Philly side, you get Maxey returning. Equal rest, of course, because most of these teams played on Sunday. Philly plays against Milwaukee on Thursday. On the Knicks side, OG Anunoby is back now. Last game of a 3-game homestand for them, and they play in Portland on Thursday. They actually they were held to a season low 73 points on Sunday after holding the Orlando Magic to 74 points in the last game. So as far as this game goes, it's got to be Knicks, right? I feel like it's got to be a Knicks spot. Even though Tyrese Halliburton comes back, you also get OG Anunoby's back, so that helps the defense a lot. And I looked at the some of the advanced numbers in Orlando. I'm sorry, not Orlando. Getting ahead of myself. The Philadelphia 76ers, even though they did play a really good defensive game, I think the Knicks kind of overlooked them a little bit. The Knicks had already beat them twice this season. I said this, last week on the Sunday show, that the Knicks had already beat this Philadelphia team twice this season. They beat them one time with Joel Embiid and Maxey. They beat them the second time with Maxey and didn't have Joel Embiid. So I think they kind of overlooked them a little bit. I do think that they get some revenge. It was two ways I was thinking about playing this one. First one was over. I talked about it earlier. Then I contemplated it a little bit. It said maybe just Knicks team total over. But then I kind of talked myself into playing Philly team total under as well. So I'll give you guys the notes on both of them. Maybe that just equals the spread, but I didn't quite get to the window with either. So one thing I looked at for Philly team total under was that so with Maxey being rolled in, I thought the total would go up just a tad bit. The Knicks have been the best defensive team over the last 5 games. You got the revenge spot, so I think they'll be motivated. They're playing at a bottom 5 pace, and they get OG back. The Knicks have also held 3 of their last 4 opponents under 100 points as well. Philly's only averaging about 104 points per game in the last 3 games, and they've actually been held under 102 in 4 of their last 8 games. So Philly team total under was the play that that makes sense about. But then this Knicks team total over, and granted this offense has not been good, but the 76ers are allowing 112 points per game in the last 6 that Maxey has played in. I think that him being in, it just adds more pace to the game. They've actually given up 108 points, which is what the Knicks team total is today, in 5 of their last 6 games that Maxey has played in since the All-Star break. And Philly is allowing 117 points per 100 possession with Maxey on the floor. and Joel Embiid off the floor. So I think they'll bounce back. I think the Knicks shot like 34% from the field, 33% from the field, or something like that. From an analytics perspective, Philly, after the All-Star break, they are allowing the fourth most rebounds to opponents, and fouling at the highest rate as well. So that means that the Knicks should be able to get to the free throw line here. They really will. I think the Knicks will be able to dominate the boards as well, especially getting OG Anunoby back. He's a pretty good rebounder. Knicks offense has been bad, but they do rank number 1 in offensive rebounds. So I think they dominate the boards. They get a ton of second chance opportunities. Knicks are also number 1 in rim frequency after the All-Star break, and Philly actually allowing teams to shoot the second highest rim percentage. So I think the Knicks get it back. I think they get it done here. Like I said, team total over. This Philly defense, I think they just turned up in the last game. I don't expect them to play that well. I didn't play the spread, but it still kind of makes sense to me. And you'd absolutely getting the worst of the number now because it's open at 4.5. So I probably won't get there, but I do think they're the right side in this game. Maybe Knicks money line parlay and something sounds like a good idea. I actually thought about doing that, but I haven't pulled the trigger on that one quite yet. And there's a bunch of different trends as well to kind of back this. I looked at one that said in non-playoff games, home favorites in 3 days or less rest. I'm sorry, home favorites in a 3-day or less revenge spot after losing as a home favorite, in which the previous game went under. 44-8 straight up, 33-18-1 against the spread. That's 65%, including 16-2 straight up, 14-4 against the spread. That's 77.8% since January of 2021. So Knicks should come out here and handle business is the way I kind of see this one. But like I said, I did not play anything. Could be a big game for Brunson as well. Let's go to the comments real quick and see what my guys on. I feel good doing the evening show. What up, He Got Takes? Tasha, good evening. I appreciate you for tapping in. What up, LJ? Sean says, what's going on, Chris? Last night was ugly. Let's make some money. Hit the like button. Absolutely, Sean. Tasha says, damn, Denver. Yeah, Denver did not come out to play basketball last night in that first half. I did watch that game. It was a crazy game. What's up, Queasy Boo? Says, let's get this money, Chris. What up, Fremons? Roger likes the Knicks and the Thunder and the money line parlay at -102. I like that. I like that a lot. So we'll keep it pushing. Don't sound like a lot of people got a lot of opinions on that first game. Let's slide over to the next one that we have. So the next one we have is we got the Wizards and the Grizzlies, man. Ugly, ugly game here. Around this time yesterday, I didn't do a show. I was already kind of looking into these games, and I actually saw the Wizards are up to 3-point favorites now, which is crazy to think you got to be laying 3 points with the Washington Wizards on the road. But I like the Wizards, man. I do like the Wizards. I just look at this Memphis team, and granted they been injured, but they're missing some key guys. I think Luke Kennard is out, Jaren Jackson Jr. is out, and Washington does have some favorable matchup advantages. I'm not sure if Landry Shamet is going to return or Rashawn Holmes is going to turn, but this Wizards team coming off back-to-back wins against Charlotte and Miami. They play in Houston on Thursday, and they actually beat this Memphis Grizzlies team when they were a little bit better at 113-106 in DC back on my birthday at the end of October to begin the season. Memphis, they are on the first leg of a back-to-back with Charlotte tomorrow. And from an X's and O's perspective, you look at Washington, they got the major advantage in three-point shooting. Memphis has been really, really bad. Washington has been shooting the three-point ball pretty well. Memphis has been giving up a ton of threes, and they also been shooting a ton of threes. And Washington's actually been really, really good against the above the break three over the last, 10 games since the All-Star break. Washington also has big advantage in transition. They like to get out and push the pace. Memphis struggling with turning the ball over. Washington actually taking care of the basketball. Memphis is bottom 5, of course, in a lot of offensive categories. Cat had surgery today, reevaluated in about a month. So what I was saying was Memphis, bottom 5 in points scored per 100 possessions, effective field goal percentage, they're dead last in turnover percentage, and defensively, they're giving up a ton of offensive rebounds as well. We know the Wizards, that's where they struggle with rebounding the basketball. On the season, Memphis forces the most turnovers at home, and after the All-Star break, they're 7th. But like I said, Washington actually top 10 in protecting the ball on the road. So this to me screams Washington, man. I didn't bet it, but that's the only way I would look. It's gross, but it's 2 gross teams. We'll just keep it like that. Washington wins 3 games in a row, and that's probably like them winning the championship, honestly. So probably be the first time all season they won 3 games in a row, and they do. I would say that they are the right side, but not anything that I bet from a a player prop perspective, I kind of gave you guys the numbers. If I had to play anything in this game, it would be probably maybe Kyle Kuzma threes or Jordan Poole threes, somebody that's going to shoot a ton of threes. That's going to shoot a ton of threes for this Washington Wizards team, just because their defense has been so bad. Yesterday, I said it was Grayson Allen. He cashed 4, I think. Number sitting at 2.5 today. With a really, really bad defense, I do think, it's matchup advantages for this Washington team for sure. So whoever's going to, knock down the threes, I didn't really take it too deep of a dive and, cross-reference it for player props, but the Grizzlies will give up at least 4 threes to one person a day is what I'm predicting. So those are my thoughts on this game. Probably spent way too much time on it. I don't see nobody commenting on it. So I don't think y'all want to talk about this one. Will said, what up, though, Chris? He said, what up? He said, what up, though, Chris? Hope all is well with you, my brother. I like Kyle Lowry over 4.5 assists. He's over 4 of his last 5 when getting 30+ minutes, and I expect him to get that today. Yeah, I could see that. I could see Kyle Lowry. Absolutely. Futon says he sprinkled on Kyle Kuzma double. I could absolutely see that as well, Futon. What up, Estat? Appreciate you for tapping in as always, my brother. Hope all is well with you, man. All right, let's keep it pushing then. Next game up, we have Oklahoma City Thunder. They will be at the crib. So this is actually on the wrong side. Thunder should be on the right-hand side. Pacers should be on the left-hand side. Thunder will be at home. Laying, this number is not 6 anymore. It's actually down to I'm not 7 anymore. It's actually down to 6. And the total continues to go up. It opened at 236. It's up to 240, 241 to be exact. So this is an interesting game, man. I said it early on the morning show that I really wanted to get there with the Pacers, but I wanted to wait on the status of Jalen Williams. I'm not sure if Jalen Smith is going to play for Indy. Of course, Ben Matthews already been ruled out, and you get Indy in a not the greatest spot. This is the first leg of a back-to-back. They got the Chicago Bulls on deck tomorrow, although they have done well in that spot. Indy is, what are they? They are 8-3, straight up 9-2 against the spread on the first leg of back-to-back games. So it hasn't really bothered them. They're also slightly profitable on the road, 17-14-1 against the spread. But OKC, they kind of not taking any prisoners at home, man. They've been the second most profitable team on the season behind the Orlando Magic. They're the second most profitable team at home, 22-10 against the spread, 68.8%. They're also 5-0 straight up, 4-1 against the spread as a home favorite since the All-Star break, with wins by 22 points, 41 points, 17, 31, and 7. They're also 6-1 straight up, 5-2 against the spread as a home favorite against a team with a 50% win percentage or better in non-conference games. So all of those things kind of point, and there's also like major matchup advantages. I was looking at this one, taking a deeper dive into this one. So at home, Indiana typically, on the season, let's just say this. On the season, OKC has an average win margin of about 8 points per game. But at home specifically, they win by about 14 points per game. The Indiana Pacers on the season winning by 2 points per game. On the season on the road, they're losing by 2 points. After the All-Star break, Indy is a +1. After the All-Star break, OKC is a +10. And there's major matchup advantages for just looking at the last 10 games after the All-Star break. OKC is let's start with the Indiana offense. So Indy loves to attack the rim. They're actually bottom 5 in 3-point and overall 3-point percentage. Bottom 12 and above the break threes. Bottom 10 in corner threes. So they're shooting a lot of their shots at the rim. They're actually shooting the second most attempts at the rim and converting at a pretty good percentage, 64.7%, which is good for 7 teams. So they're right in the middle of the pack. OKC is 21st in rim frequency. So a lot of teams aren't necessarily trying them at the rim. A lot of teams are trying them at the rim, but they are the second best defense at the rim. I know they're a team, but they're allowing teams to shoot just 59% at the rim, which is the second best. They just have all the thing that OKC has been struggling with is above the break threes. They're 21st in that category. Allowing teams to shoot the shot, at the 5th highest rate, and giving up the 21st highest percentage at 37% from the above the break three, and that's where the Pacers aren't really shooting the ball from. So if Jalen Williams is ruled in, I'm probably gonna stay off the spread, but I do like the team total over. I just don't think that for me, I backed Indiana on Sunday against Orlando because Orlando is a team that can't. There was a double revenge spot, and Orlando is a team that can't necessarily score the ball all the time, but they can play really good defense. OKC can score the ball all the time, and they can play really good defense. So I like OKC team total. It's sitting at 123.5. I don't think the Pacers are going to be able to stop them from getting there. So this is something that I had on my short list. I haven't played yet. OKC team total is 123.5. Looks like that number, best number, is available on ESPN Bet right now. If you guys are interested in making that play, and like I said, I haven't locked it in yet. I want to see what happened with Jalen Williams. He did go through shoot around, and I said this early on the morning show as well. But for some reason, I know that they're only 2-4 against the spread without Jalen Williams this season. The good Jalen Williams. But they're actually better. They actually have a higher plus minus without him on the floor. They have plus 11 in points scored per 100 possessions. They're scoring 124.2 per 100 possessions without Jalen Williams on the floor compared to with him on the floor, just a 6.7, averaging about 118.7 points scored per 100 possessions. So, if he doesn't play, maybe the total will come down just a tad bit, and then I probably will fire off on Pacers. Team total over 123.5. That's the way I like this one. Also, I mentioned on the morning show that you got to look at SGA in this spot, man. The Pacers are, so just to put some analytics behind it, the Pacers are allowing. Let's look at this real quick. So the Pacers are. Let me just flip something. All right, so post All-Star break, well, on the season, the Pacers are actually last in rim frequency, so teams are getting to the rim and taking the most shots against them. They are 13th in rim accuracy, but after the All-Star break, and this has been about a 10 game sample, this Indiana Pacers team is still bottom 10. They're 23rd in rim frequency, so a lot of teams are trying them at the rim, and they're 27th in rim accuracy, so they're allowing teams to shoot the third best percentage at the rim against them. It's some major advantages. That's the biggest one. But also the corner three. They are third in frequency, so they're holding teams from shooting a bunch of them. But when teams are shooting them, they're making them at a really high clip. They're the third worst corner three defense as well. And if you know, then you know that's probably Lou Dort threes over in this spot. It's probably going to be a really good look as well because OKC is shooting a ton of those. So OKC is shooting. OKC actually not shooting that many. They're actually shooting about 8.5% of their shots come from the corner three, but they are shooting them at a really high percentage. They're shooting them at the third best percentage, 45.5%. So like I said, I like the team total over. I think Indy gonna try to push the pace, and OKC they fine with running fast. That's what they like to do anyway. So those are my thoughts on this one, man. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Estai says he likes the Wizards game over 219.5. Rick Parker says OKC team total over. He likes that as well. Estai says he likes the Thunder in the first quarter and full game over. I can see that too, Estai. Thunder typically come out fast, man. They do come out fast. What's up, Jose? He says, let's get it today, Chris. I smell money today. Come on, peeps. Smash that like button for our guy. Appreciate that. Reminding people to hit the like button, Jose. What's up, OG? Jermaine says OG is in tonight. Tasha says she likes OKC in the first half, -2.5. I like that as well, Tasha. OKC win, but not seeing it by 7. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. The other thing I think that to mention real quick, Jose, is that this could be a primetime spot. You got to look ahead in some of these spots, right? So could the Pacers keep this game close? They absolutely could. If OKC gets out to a big lead, right? Let's just say Pacers dropped. They dropped down. They were down by like 15 points to the Orlando Magic, right? And I'm not saying they can't come back, but if they get down in this game, there could be an opportunity presents itself where they get down by 15, 17 points to OKC because OKC barraged them with points. And tomorrow, you got a game against a conference opponent, the Chicago Bulls. I think the Bulls also beat them the last time they played as well. So you got to start, Rick Carlisle got to start thinking, which game means the most. And it could be a place where, the Pacers don't end up putting their starters back in. So, like I said, I lean OKC -6.5, -6. Didn't want to get there without Jalen Williams, but team total over makes a little bit more sense to me. And that's the way I would play it. Don't let me talk you off your Pacers looks, but I think the Pacers, if they had Jalen Williams in, can win and cover this spread, especially with the OKC doesn't play tomorrow. They got a game against the Dallas Mavericks coming up, but that game is actually on Thursday. I don't like this spot as much for the Pacers, especially coming off a win. The Pacers have been kind of teetering back and forth between win-loss. So haven't been that consistent, in my opinion. What up to my guy RC? Jabari says SGA line is 33.5. Still playing it. I would agree. What's up, Jay Gill? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. All right, let's keep it pushing. Get you guys up out of here. Next game up, we have the Rockets and the San Antonio Spurs. So I went through this one this morning, man. It's a difficult game to bet because we still don't know the status of Victor Wembanyama. I don't think Devin Vassell is on the injury report. And, of course, Sengun, news just broke that he's going to be out for the rest of the season, which is, terrible news for Houston, man. They have been really, really hooping. But, that's really, really bad news. I'm not sure how much that impacts. I did go through and look at the numbers, and it didn't show a big impact. Houston is still a plus 0.3 in points scored per 100 possessions. So 110.4 is what they're scoring. They're giving up 110.1 without him on the floor. So it's not too much there. The situational spot lines up for Houston. I talked about this morning, but San Antonio, they're a young team, but they're just 2-8 straight up, 4-6 against the spread when they're unrested this season. They're losing by an average of 11 points. And Houston, don't look now, but they've actually won 4 of their last 5. They've covered 6 straight. They're 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. I think it's a Houston spot. I just can't get there because I'm not sure what this offense is going to look like. San Antonio had been playing a lot better, of course, before they ran into Golden State again. And like I said, Victor Wembanyama means a lot in this spot. Houston is 2-1 straight up and against the spread for San Antonio this season. And they're catching San Antonio on the second leg of a back-to-back. Like I said, granted, they're a young team, but you go through and look at the advanced metrics. San Antonio is either bottom 5 or bottom 10 in opponent points scored per 100 possessions, opponent effective field goal percentage, opponent offensive rebound rate, opponent free throw rate, and the 20th in offensive and turning the ball over as well, which could help Houston to be able to get out in transition and score some easy buckets without Sengun. So all of those numbers, in my opinion, kind of lean towards Houston being able to win and cover in this short number. Also looked at rested road favorites facing an unrested opponent this season. They're 39-15 straight up, 72%. And, with this game just being, pretty much 2 buckets, it feels like they should be able to get the job done. Still got Jalen Green. You still got Jabari Smith Jr. You still got, Fred VanVleet, Landale. You got Jeff Green, Holiday off the bench. I know they're going to be without Ken Whitmore, and that's one of the reasons why I stayed off of this one as well. But I do like Houston, man. I didn't play it. Slight lean to the under. I was trying to get there with San Antonio team total under, but the number just feels like it's probably right on par. Houston has been playing a lot better defense after the All-Star break, and San Antonio could be in the spot where the thing that scared me off of that is Houston playing a little bit faster. They've been playing really good defense and playing fast. Don't know how, without having Sengun is going to impact that. But after the All-Star break, Houston is actually the number 8th in points allowed per 100 possessions, 7th in opponent effective field goal percentage, 10th in creating turnovers, 12th in allowing the least of few offensive rebounds. And so it bodes well. They're giving up right about 110.7 points per 100 possessions after the All-Star break, which is spot on this number right here. So I like the under, but like I said, I didn't quite get there on this one. 223.5 down to 222. But if I had to make a play, it would probably be the under, staying away from the side. Let's go to the comments real quick and see what you guys are saying here before we keep it moving. Jose says Jalen is in, will definitely be an OKC spot. John says 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 600 hours, even though Tyrese Halliburton comes back. Maxey, I'm sure you meant. Oh, yeah, Maxey. I'm sorry. Yeah, definitely meant Maxey. My fault. Jose says, I hear Wemby is in. I didn't see that. Let's see. Did we get an updated injury report for Mr. Wembanyama? Let's see real quick. Let me let this update. Oh, yeah, I missed this. Yeah, he's not on the injury report for Tuesday's game. Did the line come down? It should. I feel like it should have came down. Honestly, I think Houston, with the way that they play, I think they can limit Victor Wembanyama. I really, really do. He doesn't mean that much to me. Like him playing wouldn't necessarily talk me off the bet if I did like Houston in this spot. They won 2 games without him. But like I said, it's too many different variables for me in this one. Especially without knowing how they're going to perform without Sengun. So I stayed off of it. Like I said, we'll get more data without Sengun as time goes on now, of course. LJ said this is the exact spot Clippers were in last week versus the Rockets. Clippers missed spread by 1 point. Yeah, but it's a smaller spread, though. That was 6.5 last week, LJ. I remember that. And they ended up winning that game by 6, but they also made a late push as well. Jose says he likes the over in this one. Tasha says she likes the under in this one. LJ likes the Jabari Smith double-double. He says she'll play well. I agree with this. This is probably a good move here, LJ. Jay Gill reminding us, thank you. Appreciate y'all for letting me know that Wemby is in. I do see that now. Estai says this has underwritten all over it. Yeah, I think I just look at Houston defense, man. They've been, a lot of their recent wins have come because they've, like really locked up. And I looked at them as road favorites. It hasn't happened that often. They're 4-1 straight up, 3-2 against the spread. And they held the Trailblazers to 107, the Rockets to 104, the Pistons to 110, and the Grizzlies to 96. So when they win on the road as a favorite, they typically cover. I mean, they typically cut. Well, yeah, they cover the number, but they do limit their opponents to 107.6 points per game. So yeah, like I said, San Antonio, I think the team total is 110.5. That's the way I would look in this one. I'll probably just stay off the side. All right, let's keep it pushing. We got a couple more games to get to real quick. Next game up, we have the Boston Celtics, and the WAC team, or the team that's supposed to be getting smoked, is always the team. The graphic don't come up for whatever reason. Boston is in Utah. Not going to be on this one long. I don't really have a lot of notes on this one. I did, for the people who may not have had the chance to check out the updated injury report, it did come out. So Boston is resting Jaylen Brown, resting Al Horford on the second leg of a back-to-back, of course, and Porzingis continues to be ruled out as well. So now it looks like Luke Kornet will get the start for the Boston Celtics. And you still got, guys like Xavier Tillman coming off the bench. Jason Tatum is still going to be there. Drew Holiday is back. He's off the injury report. Derek White and Sam Howell. And this is a tell. And Boston not in a great spot. Second leg of a back-to-back, of course, third game in 4 nights, all on the road, and you're traveling to altitude. I talked about this earlier today. Boston has actually lost back-to-back games in Utah, but those Utah teams were much better. Utah is still going to be without Lauri Markkanen. Hendricks is also listed out. So they got Walker Kessler, John Collins, Colin Sexton, and Keontae George. And you still got Jordan Clarkson off the bench. However, Boston is just good, man. Boston don't really look like they trying to let down in any of these spots. Now, could they in this spot? Potentially. But I'm not taking points with Utah. No matter how good the spot is for them, this Utah team is not trying to win games. They continue to struggle, defensively. And Boston is the best offensive team, in basketball. So, even in this spot, I still would only be able to look towards the Boston Celtics. I just can't put my money on Utah. In a spot like this, you typically think, the offensive team that is playing well could potentially let up. And even if they did, they still can outscore this Utah team with ease. Just looking at the numbers, Utah wasn't great before the All-Star break, but looking at the numbers after the All-Star break, Utah is the worst defense in the league. They're giving up 121.7 points scored per 100 possessions. They're 30th in opponent effective field goal percentage, 59%. Ranked. They're not forcing turnovers. They are limiting teams on offensive rebounds, but they're also, giving up a ton of fouls, 23rd in the opponent free throw rate. And then offensively, they're starting to tail off as well. They're 21st in turnover percentage, and Boston is, really good Boston is not that good at forcing turnovers. But if you're going to turn the ball over, Boston will get out and run for sure. You don't got to worry about that. Boston's also 4th and 3rd in points scored per 100 possessions after the All-Star break and effective field goal percentage. So, it's no way I'm looking at this Utah Jazz team. I know Boston's on the second leg of a back-to-back and going to be shorthanded, but it still be Boston and nothing for me. But it's definitely not something that I play. Also, I looked at half court wise, half court and putbacks, and Utah defense actually ranks 30th. They're giving up the most points in the half court per play, 107.5. And Boston's number 1. So Boston first quarter, Boston first half, Boston scoring 113.5 points. in the half court this season. I'm sorry, after the All-Star break. So this team, is really, really turned up, and they're not playing against a defense that's out there that's going to be trying to stop them at all. Utah has been getting scored on left and right, and Boston gets scored. They're the most efficient offense in the NBA, and they can score whatever it is that they want in this game. So yeah, it'd still be Boston or nothing for me in this spot, but maybe a Boston team total over is the way I would look. Boston first half, get in and get out. They are the best ATS team in the first half. We talked about that over the last couple shows, so couldn't talk anybody off of there looking at that either. Let's go back to the chat real quick. Jay Gill says Spurs are pretty good first half at home. Don't know about in this spot though. I would agree, Jay Gill. Y'all know if it's Spurs, I'm probably just passing, man. I can't mess with those games. Jermaine says Boston 5-6, last 11 in Utah. I think this is a Utah money line spot. Ooh, that's spicy, Jermaine. It's the spiciest thing I done heard all day. What up to my guy Tariq? He says, "What's up, Chris? Just hopped on. Took Boston fourth quarter yesterday. Easy money. May stay away today. Nothing wrong with staying away if you cashed yesterday. Could not talk you off." Tasha likes Boston in the first half. Jermaine says Brunson under points. Under GTA gotta take a shot at that. I don't know about that one. Tasha says I can't go against Boston. Is Tatum in Boston? Tatum is in. Yes, he is. S-Dot says if Tatum is in, go for Celtics first quarter and first half. I would agree, S-Dot. Even with 2 days of rest, for Utah, I still think they just can't guard anybody. Anybody. Jermaine says Boston, my team for life. Chad also likes Boston. He says first half team total over 60.5. And I could not talk you off of that look at all, Chad. Boston can score whatever it is that they want. In Utah, I gave you guys the numbers. Man, I don't want to bore you guys with the analytics, but they are either bottom 5 or bottom 2 in so many different categories. And somebody for Boston, I'm gonna go ahead and put this out too. Somebody for Boston will hit 5 threes today. Maybe even 2 people. Just their overall 3-point, frequency. They're shooting the 5th most threes in the league after the All-Star break, making the 3rd most. And Utah, we keep talking about it. They're 30th, dead last in opponent 3-point percentage, allowing teams to shoot 44% from the 3-point line, 17th in opponent 3-point frequency. So yeah, I mean they above the break 3, like them pull-ups from Tatum, Derek White, man, it could potentially get bad. Boston is 4th in above the break 3 frequency after the All-Star break. They're 2nd in percentage, shooting 41%. And Utah, Boston is 2nd in percentage at 41%. Utah is dead last in percentage, allowing teams to shoot 43%. So as good as Boston been shooting, Utah allowing teams to shoot even better than Boston been shooting. So this game could really get out of hand. That first half team total over, like Chad said. So Boston, starters can rest, probably in play for this one today. And those are my thoughts there. And I spent way too much time on that game. Tasha says she likes that team total over 60. Futon says Holiday rebounds over 4.5. Okay, I could definitely see both of those cashing as well. All right, so now we got Timberwolves. Did we get updated injury news for this one? We got Timberwolves and Clippers, game that you couldn't really handicap if you didn't know the injury news. I think everybody is still game time decision, right? Yeah, Anthony Edwards still, because this game is so late that they don't have to, submit any updated injury report. Anthony Edwards, Kyle Anderson, Rudy Gobert, and Monte Morris all still on the injury report. Of course, they'll be without Karl-Anthony Towns still. The Clippers, Paul George and Kawhi, still listed as questionable, and Westbrook already out. The line came out, and I'm like, God, it's a high line, man. I talked about it earlier this morning, but I think it's, and it's come down to 6.5. I think it was at 7, right? Yeah, it was at 7 this morning. You guys see on the screen. You really just got to wait on the injury news in this one, man. I will say, this Timberwolves team has really, really been struggling to score the basketball. And the Clippers have really, really been struggling to defend as well. So it's not, too much of a favorable spot at all. Both teams really been kind of BSing after the All-Star break. Timberwolves just 5-5 straight up, 2-8 against the spread. A 2-game losing streak after they lost to the Cavs and the Lakers. I will say this, though, and this is what I said earlier this morning. The Timberwolves don't play again until Saturday. Today is Tuesday. That means they can really go all out in this game, in my opinion. This is the 3rd straight road game, and they got 2 more road games in Utah, back-to-back road games in Utah after this one. pretty sure they're gonna want to get this game. I'm not sure if they have enough, especially if the Clippers play everybody. But I could see them keeping it closer than the spread indicates if they get everybody ruled in. Now, of course, Rudy Gobert didn't play in that last game. Kyle Anderson was also out, and Monte Morris was out. So really, just Anthony Edwards and Nas Reed, of course. But yeah, the Clippers they stepped up in the last game against the Bulls, but I'm not sure what to do with this game, man. Clippers are this is the last game of a 3-game homestand for them before they travel to Chicago on Thursday. They're 5-5 also, straight up after the All-Star break, 3-7 against the spread. In theory, you would say that they have a little bit more of a rest advantage because PG and Kawhi didn't play in that game on Sunday against the Milwaukee Bucks. So I'm not sure what to do with that one. You definitely got to wait on the injury news. If everybody plays for both sides, I will say this: I do like the Clippers. I like the Clippers. I don't know if I would play the spread, but I do like the Clippers to win the game. Especially coming off a loss, the Clippers need all the wins that they can get. They're still trying to gun for that number 1 spot in the Western Conference. Of course, Denver won last night. Denver got a big game tomorrow against the Miami Heat. But of course, Denver won last night, and OKC's probably going to beat Indiana tonight. So Clippers got to keep contention. I think I think putting Clippers in a money line parlay is probably a good idea, especially if they get everybody in. All right, cool. Let's go back to the comments here. LJ says he likes Harden over his 9.5 assists. He says the Wolves are allowing allowing the last 6 point guards to average 10 assists that's played against them. Okay. Good stuff there, LJ. Tasha says Clippers been scoring more on 2NH. What does that mean, Tasha? Second half, maybe? I know they haven't been scoring a lot in the first half. Maybe that's what you mean. Jose says, Chris, what you think about Anthony Edwards under 8.5 first quarter points? Yeah, I'm definitely not touching the under for Anthony Edwards. He is literally their only offensive guy that can really create his own shot, man. I guess you could say Mike Conley can do it, but I mean, a lot of those guys rely on Anthony Edwards so much to create their offense. So I couldn't quite get there with an Anthony Edwards under in the first quarter. Both of those, the Timberwolves do play at a pretty slow pace, but yeah, I couldn't quite get there. I probably just sit on the sideline that one. But don't let me talk you off, Jose. If you like it, you done your research, fire off on it, my brother. Tariq says the Timberwolves don't have structure. Ant-Man think he's playing street ball. Gobert can't lay up worth ish. Yeah, I Gobert cost me some money in that Cavs game the other day, man, getting that technical foul. I wish they would have kicked him out the league for 10 seasons, honestly. No, I'm just kidding. But he did cost me. Rudy Gobert is, you know what? I'm not going to even start on Rudy Gobert, man. I'm going to skip it. Tariq says Clippers are a second half team. And that's what Tasha was saying. She was saying that they're a second half team. Okay. All right, cool. Like I said, we still don't know the status of that game. Last game on the board, right? I think it's the last game. We got Bucks, and this should be a picture of the Kings. But my picture of the King, my graphic of the Kings faded away too. I'm not sure what's going on there, man. This was a game that I didn't feel super inclined about, but I did bet it. I bet the Bucks last night on the money line, minus 130. The line is kind of everywhere. It's going back and forth. You see it go up. The Bucks actually opened as 1-point dogs. Before I could like really deep dive into it, they had already been flipped to the favorite. They went up to 2.5. It's come back down to 1. Now Sacramento is actually a 1-point favorite now, so you can actually get the Bucks at a little bit better price than what I paid. Like I said, I got them at minus 130. This is a difficult game. This isn't like a humongous play for me. Even when I gave it out last night to the members, I said, this isn't even a full unit play for me. But I just think that, the Bucks are the better team. And I think that the Bucks, not only are they the better team, I just think that they'll be motivated in this spot. Not that Sacramento won't, right? Like Sacramento is coming off a loss as a home favorite on Sunday against the Houston Rockets. And the Bucks, they've only went 1-2 on this road trip. So I do think that they probably want to go back home, at least 2-2. And it's really been their defense, man. If you guys watched that game on Friday against the Lakers, they let D'Angelo Russell really turn into Steph Curry, man. Had like 46 points, 9 assists with no LeBron James. And then they really struggled against the Clippers as well with no PG and no Kawhi. So you definitely need the Bucks to, take this game a little bit more serious. And I think that hopefully they will. They are 17-16 straight up on the road, and that road ATS record is getting a little bit better with Doc Rivers. Only 14-19 against the spread on the road. But like I said, I think this one really comes down to wanting to at least finish this Western Conference road trip off at least at 50%. They are just 1-2. They got a big game coming up against Philly on Thursday. They are, however, still 7-3 straight up. I want to say and against the spread in their last 10 games. So we need the Bucks to play a little bit better defense, man. That's what it really comes down to. The Kings, in my opinion, can't be trusted. 17-12 straight up, but they're just 11-18 against the spread at home. Just 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games. This will be the third time that they've been home dogs this season at 1-1. Straight up and against the spread in that spot with losses to the Clippers, and they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. Bucks are 7-2 straight up and against the spread in their last after the All-Star break. The Kings, this is another reason why I wanted to fade them in this spot. First leg of a back-to-back game with a chance to sweep the Lakers tomorrow. Get a season sweep of the Lakers tomorrow. So I know that this game means a lot, but if they go super hard, you probably got to take the Lakers tomorrow, especially with the Lakers having the rest advantage. The Kings being on the second leg of a back-to-back. The Lakers have major revenge, 3 times revenge in that spot. So already kind of forecasting if the Kings go super hard tonight, probably want to fade them tomorrow. But I think that, granted, you can only play when you lost the game, in my opinion, you got to look at the next game and not the game after the next game. But to me, this one, says that the Bucks, like I said, I think that they want to win. They have dominated. They're 10-0 straight up and against the spread, 10-0 straight up in their last 10 games against the Kings. Sacramento is just a little too inconsistent for me to put my money on, man. Thinking that the Bucks want to finish the road trip 2-2. I did take them to go under. They also, I didn't get into the analytics, but they have been, since the All-Star break, they've been the better, defensive team, the better offensive team. Offensively, they're about tied. The Bucks are real quick. The Bucks are the 7th best offense. The Kings are 8th. Bucks 7th best in effective field goal percentage. Kings 10. Bucks aren't turning the ball over. Kings aren't turning the ball over. Bucks not getting a bunch of offensive rebounds. Kings getting a bunch of offensive rebounds. But one thing I looked at, the Bucks actually giving up the third fewest offensive rebounds. So as long as they come out here and play like that, and this is another thing that 2 other factors that really I took into consideration was the free throw rate. The Bucks are shooting the 5th most free throws since the All-Star break. The Kings fouling more than any other team. I'm sorry, the Kings not fouling. They're fouling the second most, not the most, the second most after the All-Star break. They're putting teams on the free throw line at the 28th, at the second highest rate since the All-Star break. And this Kings defense, like I said, it's been really, really bad, man. 28th in points scored per 100 possessions, effective field goal percentage, and turnover percentage. Not forcing turnovers and not stopping anybody, giving up 120.5 points per possession. They're also, getting smoked at the rim. 23rd in rim accuracy on the defensive end, where you get a Milwaukee Bucks team that really just let Giannis put his head down and get to the rim. The Bucks are 3rd in rim accuracy after the All-Star break, shooting 71% from there. So I love that advantage. I love the above the break 3 as well. Should be a big Damian Lillard game. The Bucks are 2nd and above the break 3-point accuracy, and they're 10th. And they're 2nd in frequency, so they're shooting a bunch of them. 10th and above the break 3-point accuracy, shooting about 38% from the 3-point line. The Kings on the opposite side, 29th in opponent above the break 3-point accuracy, allowing teams to shoot 41%. So those are just some of the numbers that I was kind of looking at. But yeah, the matchup to me, I know it's the last game of a road trip, but I think the Bucks should be able to get the job done here. Damian Lillard, I see Vinci put it in the chat, over his 3.5 threes. I just kind of gave you guys the numbers. We know he shoot a ton of above the break threes. And like I said, they're 2nd in frequency, 10th in accuracy. The Kings 29th in accuracy, but 1st in frequency. So they are pushing teams off the 3-point line, but when they shoot them up, they're making them, because their 3-point defense is absolutely atrocious. And I do think Damian Lillard gonna pick his spots today and be effective. And like I said, they can get to the rim too. So the only thing the Kings really do a good job of guarding is the long mid-range shot. And I think the Bucks are fine, like not taking that shot tonight. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I wouldn't say love. I like a lot the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. You go to Cold Stone, and they got the like it, love it, gotta have it. This would be like an in between, like love it and gotta have it. It's like right in between there. It ain't the gotta have it, but it ain't the love it either. It's like right in the middle between them two. That's how I feel about the Bucks tonight. It's actually the only play I made so far. Like I said, I took them on the money line here. Let's go to the comments real quick. See what you guys are saying here. Quentin says Zubac over 8.5 rebounds in that last game. He also says Giannis game time, so it's Dame time tonight. Futon likes Sabonis under 11 rebounds. Bryce says the line movement is crazy. CLV isn't everything, though. That's a fact, Bryce. It's sometimes just how it is. You know, sharp money is not always right. You know what sharp money was on yesterday? Sharp money was on San Antonio to cover that spread because Golden State opened as a 6-point favorite, and the line came all the way down to 4, and all that sharp money went to the sports book. So, you know, it ain't always sharp money, man. CLV and everything. What up to my guy Fred? He says he likes the Bucks on the road. Also, Pete Fox points over, and Giannis always snaps. So his points and assists is a look as well. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with him today, man. His assists been going crazy. Fast-paced matchup. I like it a lot. Jose says he's taking the Bucks today. He says Dame night tonight. Estai says Nuck if you buck. We knucking and bucking and ready to fight. Shout out to S-Dot, man. Bitsy likes Dame over his threes. Tasha likes Kyle Lowry over 4.5 assists. Futon likes De'Aaron Fox over his 27.5 points. John says, my team is tired. Sacramento money line. Kings tired of getting beat by Bucks 0-22. We'll see how it goes, John. He on the opposite side tonight. Jabari says Giannis points will always be a play versus the Kings. And Estai says best bet. He took the Zags and he took the Bucks on the money line. He took the Zags -2 and Bucks on the money line. Appreciate you as well for tapping in, all the positive vibes. Easy money, as always, my brother. And I think that's the last game on the board, right? So let's see. Yeah, that's the last game. So like I said, Milwaukee money line is the only play that I played. So of these other plays that I'm looking at, man, I think there's some real substance to New York Knickerbockers. First half, minus the 3.5, whatever that number is. I like them early. I do like them often too. I didn't take them, but I'm thinking money line parlay, right? I'm thinking Knicks and OKC. I think both of those teams win, or Knicks and Clippers. I think Knicks and Clippers is a winner as well. I'm not sure which one I'll do. For the members, I will post it in the comments in the YouTube section when I do figure out what I'm gonna do. But I do kind of want to wait on that injury news for the Clippers game, just because we still got some time for that one. I talked about Lou Dort threes over because the Pacers they really struggle against that corner three. He shoots a ton of them. Numbers should be 1.5. Do whatever you want to do with that information I gave y'all with about the Boston Celtics. It could be Derek White hitting 4 threes in the first quarter. I think that's absolutely possible tonight as well. And then who team total was 123.5? The OKC Thunder. OKC team total over 123.5. San Antonio team total. I will still lean under there as well. Under 110.5, I think is the number. And I felt like it was one more play that I wanted to make. I'm not playing the Wizards. They are the right side, though. Definitely not playing the Wizards. I can't take that heartbreak if they lose to the Memphis Grizzlies. I would never be able to forgive myself. Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. So real quick, I'll go through that one more time because it probably did feel a little disorganized. The only thing I played so far is the Milwaukee Bucks on the money line. Not like I said, not even a full unit play. The Knicks and OKC or the Knicks and the Clippers will be a money line parlay that I put in. And I also could potentially get there with OKC team total over to 123.5. Waiting to see what happens with Jalen Williams there. Lou Dort threes and whoever threes you want to take for the San Antonio for the Boston Celtics. I told you guys the Jazz are really, really bad at shooting at threes. So this is literally the best matchup versus the best team that does something versus the worst team that can't defend it. Just so you guys know. So those are all my thoughts on the card, man. I'm going to get my guy Flo up real quick because I see he did request. We're going to hear from him for a second. If anybody else got plays they want to share, send me a request over on Twitter. And we get ready to get up out of here, man. Flo, what's going on, my brother? How you doing? See if we can get him connected. John says it's over 5 threes. Yeah, Dame could potentially go crazy in this spot as well. See if we can get Flo. Flo, can you hear me? Might not be connected. I thought he was. Looked like he connected on my end. Oh, one more thing real quick. Somebody DM me or added me on Twitter and asked if I could do some SDQL stuff. If you guys have SDQL questions, drop them in the chat. Put them on the tweet too. That's linked to the spaces, and I'll answer as many of them. If you guys have any, let me know. I don't mind like helping people learn. I had to learn too. So if you guys have those questions, like I said, shoot them to me. I'll get up. I'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. OG Anunoby will warm up with the intent to play, Tom Thibodeau said. Okay. All right, cool. I don't see any questions. I don't see any requests. Let me see if I can get Flo back up now, see if I can get him connected. Yo, Flo, can you hear me, bro?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
I'm good, bro. How about yourself?
Oh, man, feeling fantastic.
Absolutely. What we taking in that Sixers game, Flo? What you like?
Well, a couple of times a lot of lines to me. Really like Jalen Brunson's assist. They just had a great game plan. Trapping, forcing the other players to shoot and make shots. I think a couple things. One, when Jalen took the magic words of "I played like crap" or whatever, if you heard about the last game, I'm automatically taking his assist 4 points plus assist. So I love the fact that they get OG back. I think it opens things up. Pressure's no longer the 4. You can't collapse on Jalen as much. So really like his assist at 6.5. I know that I'm just ugly, hideous right now. My play today is kind of moved this minus 150 now, but Josh Hart under his points. He's been doing a whole job with OG out playing 40 minutes, whatever. But he had kind of an article today to talk about he's built for it. He knows that he wanted to play 40 minutes forever. And I just think that like that was time to like scale it back a little bit. Like play him regular minutes, play him 35 minutes, 36 minutes, OG in there, it cuts it to his minutes. He's won for his last 10 as far as over 12.5 when he's just playing under 38 minutes. And it's like a game that has 2 of the 5 slowest teams in the league, a 208 total. So it's just going to be like a slow, dragged out 90s game. So love that one. I love Dante's threes at 3.5. The one look I'm really looking forward to, because OG might be on a minutes restriction but if he starts, his assists are probably going to be at like 1.5 or something stupid. So I really want to see what that's looking like. Like it's 1.5 or see what his 4 assists were. Because if you remember back like a month back when the Knicks were playing like the Heat, Randall got hurt. And in that fourth quarter, when they didn't have Randall, they were using OG in kind of like that Randall role. You could see like with OG down. Was trying to land the role. So I just have a very strong suspicion that even though his minutes are limited, you might be able to get like a really weak line on his assists for like 1.5 and take advantage of that if you want to put the next money line or maybe like you were saying with OKC. So that's what I got for tonight. Okay.
Hey, make a lot of sense to me. I think y'all gonna come out and smash them too. I think like I said, I think y'all just first of all, with Sunday, weird stuff happened on Sunday. The other thing was like y'all had already beat them like when they had Joel Embiid and Maxey. Then y'all beat them again without Joel Embiid, but they did have Maxey. So I think y'all just kind of overlooked them. And anytime Brunson, call himself out like that, I'm definitely willing to back him in the next spot as well. So like I said, I think I'm gonna take him on the money line too with the Clippers or with OKC in this spot.
Yes, sir. Quick question I gotta ask you for tomorrow. The whole Anthony Davis Sabonis, he never beats him. Sabonis takes a bunch of money. How you feel about tomorrow's matchup coming up?
Real quick, let me just check the spot for the Lakers. So I know that the Kings will be coming up second leg of a back-to-back, and for me, I think it's got to be a Lake. I kind of said it, but I think it's got to be a Lakers spot just because if you can't beat the Lakers are 0-3 against the Kings so far this season. They haven't beat them one time. The Kings have actually beat us 7 out of the last 10 times. And they smoked us. Going back to last season, they beat us October 29th in overtime, November 15th by 15. And then they just beat us by 10 last week too. So, this got to be the Lakers spot. Also, one thing, I know you just like me, Flo, you like to hear, you love to hear the words of the players. And I did hear Anthony Davis come out and say, after that Minnesota Timberwolves win. So the Lakers will have 2 days of rest compared to, none for the Sacramento Kings. And the Kings actually play better in LA. So maybe the Lakers going to Sacramento is a little bit better as well. But Anthony Edwards did come out and say, he said, not Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis did come out and say, he said, we understand the magnitude of all these games moving forward now. So I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that the Lakers were actually, smart enough to look at the schedule and was going to take games serious because they have been, kind of teetering back and forth between winning and losing. So I think it should be a big game for them tomorrow, Flo, especially with how many points they're giving up in the paint. They're going to be on the second leg of a back-to-back. It should be a big Anthony Davis game. What you think?
Yeah, man. Lost so much money. But, like the Lakers spot, like the fact, like it's hard to beat a team 4 times in a season. Like I think like we played the Magic the other week, last week I was saying, I know we didn't, but like man, beat them 4 times, that's crazy. So I think like the Lakers losing out, and just so pure, just like respect value, like he got these European they got on Twitter, man. Maybe just caught another time by Sabonis, like I don't know, I just don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. You like I said, the Pacers already giving up a ton of points in the paint. AD just got to be aggressive. If not, though, Flo, it'll be it'll be Bron. I came on here last week. Then in that game that we lost to the Clippers, I gave out Bron points plus assists over. I think he's cashed it in 10 straight games against the Kings in his career. And I think the number opened at like 33.5 last game, and he cashed it in the third quarter. So that could be something that you go back to if you think that it won't be. It won't be some bonus, and it'll just be LeBron like always.
Yeah, probably go LeBron over there. All right, good call, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, bro. Best of luck tonight, man. Real quick, I was looking at something for tomorrow as well. So I haven't handicapped all the games for tomorrow, but I was looking at Orlando, and it looks like 6.5 is the best number right now on ESPN Bet. This line will probably be 8 tomorrow. It's already at 7 on FanDuel. I think Orlando beats the brakes off Brooklyn tomorrow. I'll go ahead and say that. I handicapped the game already. Didn't play it yet. But Jalen Suggs and it looks like Markelle Fultz are off the injury report for Orlando, and they need a win in the worst way after losing back-to-back games. The Orlando Magic do, and they're off 2 days rest. So I think it's a really, really good spot for them. The latest 6.5. Tomorrow against the Brooklyn Nets. And Denver and Miami. I can't wait to get into that. That should be really, really good. I saw that the total open to 217 is already down to 213. So yeah, that might close at like 207. But yeah, those are the ways I'm kind of looking, man. Tasha says I like Philly team total over 51.5 in the first half. If you like Philly team total over, I bet you gotta like the Knicks team total over then too, then Tash. Maybe just take the first half over. A lot of these games are doing that, right? You see the first half, no defense being played, and in the second half, you see the defense starting to pick up a lot. So, yeah. Will says 2 non-conference opponents, both playing off 1 day's rest, and their last total was about 260, and one is playing on the first leg of a back-to-back, Kings versus Bucks. Will W says, what do you think about your Knicks tonight to cover the first quarter spread and go over 53? I think it's a Knicks spot, man. As we get injury news that Tyrese Maxey won't have a minutes limit today, per Coach Nick Nurse. So I do think it's a Knicks spot, man. I'll be looking towards him. I don't really do too many first quarters or first halves too much anymore because they really don't matter. Like the Knicks could come out and look super sloppy in the first half and then absolutely blow out this Philly team, especially with getting OG Anunoby back. I don't think it's going to happen. But, he could be a little rusty or whatever the case might be. That's the only way I would look at it. That was an SDQL question. Oh, okay. So let's see. Let's see real quick. I'll show you that real quick. Because somebody asked for the tutorial. Shout out to whoever DM me and asked for the tutorial. Real quick. I'll do this. I'll show you this real quick. Will, if y'all got more SDQL questions, post them. If not, I'm going to get up off here after this one. So he says, 2 non-conference opponents. So you got to type, you got to be specific about a season. Non-conference opponents, so not conference opponent, both playing off one day's rest. So let me zoom in real quick so y'all can see it a little bit better too. All right, so non-conference this season, playing on, you said playing on one day's rest. So rest equals 1, opponent rest equals 1. And their last total was about 260, and one is playing on the first leg of a back-to-back. That's a long SDQL. Next rest equals 0, and previous total greater than 255. So actually the first time this season, it looks like, let's see if we just look at this in general. No results. So not conference, rest equals 1, opponent rest equals 1, next rest equals 0. This don't make sense, but I ain't getting no results. 250. Yeah, it's the first time ever. So we got results for 230 when I dropped the number down. And as you can see, the Bucks and the Kings are active right here. But we've never had this scenario that you gave. Will has never happened before. Not with a total that high. Yeah, we've never seen this happen before. Not a non-conference game with both teams having 1 day's rest. The one team being on the second leg of a back-to-back and their previous total being 250, 260 or higher. Never happened before in the NBA. But yeah, definitely. No problem, my brother. No problem, man. I appreciate you asking the question because I know some people want to learn. So that's all I got. I don't see real quick. Let me check the tweet real quick just to see if anybody added anything. Probably not. But yeah, if nobody added anything, I'm out of here. Yeah, that's it. Looks like that it. If y'all got other SDQL questions or you watching this, you watching it back, just shoot them to me, man. I try to help you guys out as much as I possibly can. But yeah, best of luck on your action for today, man. I hope y'all cash some tickets, man. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll catch you guys probably tomorrow morning. Probably won't do a night show, but I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Best of luck on all your action, man. I'll catch you guys next time. I'm out.